Tamar and Toni Braxton's sister drama just went nuclear. Not too long ago, Toni tried to tag Tamar on her birthday, and that's when she realized she was blocked. Yes, her own sister hit the block button on her, but that wasn't even the wildest part, because insiders claim Tamar's been whispering behind the scenes, spreading messy rumors about Toni, and guess who it's about? Birdman. Now, it's not even about some secret romance. The streets are buzzing that Toni's marriage and divorce might have been a play to hustle Birdman out of his money, since she's been rumored to be broke. Allegedly, Tamar herself has been pushing this story, and people are wondering, was this her way of getting back at Toni after all their recent family drama? Let's keep it real. The Braxton family has never been short on chaos, but Tamar's been on a whole other level lately. She had a full meltdown before deactivating her socials, and right before she disappeared, she fired off some explosive rants on her X page. In her now deleted posts, she claimed her family is toxic, said the gaslighting was insane, and even begged that her marriage be saved while hinting that her very life was in danger. That's heavy stuff. In another post, she raged about how she regretted ever returning to Braxton family values, calling her family awful. And get this, Tamar dropped another bomb about the upcoming season of The Braxtons. She revealed Tawanda asked her to be maid of honor, but according to her, it felt shady. Tamar says she wasn't invited to the bridal shower, wasn't kept in the loop, and only got a last-minute text a week before the wedding asking if she'd do it. Meanwhile, Toni and Trina were front and center in all the planning, which made Tamar feel like she was being iced out. Add to that her rocky relationship with Tawanda's now husband, who Tamar claims has been talking slick about her, and it's no surprise she ended up skipping the whole wedding. But here's the kicker. While Tamar's beef with Tawanda was already known, folks thought she and Toni were still good. Turns out, nope. Reports say their issues go back as far as last year, and the ultimate slap in the face came when Toni realized on Tamar's birthday that she had been blocked. Family or not, that's cold. Toni Braxton herself practically confirmed the shade when she wrote, "I wanted to repost that gorgeous picture of you, but I'm blocked." Again. Anyway, happy birthday, Tay. Hugh, imagine finding out your own blood blocked you and airing it out like that. Tamar, of course, wasn't having it. She clapped back saying that was nothing but gaslighting, claiming Toni could have just picked up the phone and called her. To drive her point home, Tamar even posted screenshots of texts between them on her Instagram story, showing the sisters trying to figure out what city the other was in. Messy receipts everywhere. Now, here's where it gets even juicier. Insiders say Tamar's been running her mouth, claiming her sister only married Birdman for the money. Allegedly. And when you look back at their history, the streets kind of get why she'd say that. See, when Toni and Birdman first linked up, both of them openly talked about marriage.
Are you guys a couple?
Well, T, that's my girl, my friend, my family.
Do you have sex?
That's my love, my soldier, my life. She my everything, and I trust her.
Because you bought her a Bentley truck.
Yes.
So the implication is that's your girlfriend.
She my life.
But the wedding never happened. Toni kept saying it was because of work commitments, but let's be real, if she wanted to walk down that aisle, she would have done it. And let's not forget the whole $1 million engagement ring fiasco. Toni claimed it got stolen right out of her checked luggage at the airport. Who leaves a rock that expensive in a suitcase instead of keeping it glued to their finger? The whole thing was mad suspicious. Not long after that, they split in 2019. Birdman jumped on Instagram with a cryptic post saying, "It's over," wiped every single picture of Toni from his account and dipped. Meanwhile, Toni popped out in a red gown posting, "Yeah, starting a new chapter isn't always an easy choice, but always choose to be chosen. Cheers to a new year, talk about coded messages." But hold up, because just weeks later, they shocked everybody by reuniting on stage during Toni's Atlanta tour stop at the Fox Theater. Then the roller coaster continued. In December 2023, Toni flat out shut down marriage rumors with a post that read, "Fake news, my dear friend Birdman and I are not married, never been married, we are both single." That seemed like the final word, until this year, when court docs exposed a bombshell. Turns out Toni and Birdman did secretly tie the knot, but allegedly separated just 48 hours later. They tried to be slick, filing under their initials TB and BW, but it didn't take long for people to connect the dots. Toni and Birdman's secret marriage was out in the open, and the mess just got deeper. Court documents spilled the tea. Toni Braxton and Birdman secretly tied the knot on August 8th, only to separate on August 10th. That's right. Just 2 days later, it was already falling apart. By the end of the month, Toni had filed for divorce, with her lawyer describing the marriage as irretrievably broken. Talk about a whirlwind disaster. But here's the shocking twist. Despite calling it quits, Toni quietly dismissed her divorce petition in January 2025. And Birdman signed off too. Meaning, Legally, they're still husband and wife right now. The million-dollar question is, are they actually together, or is this just paperwork they never bothered to finish? Because let's be real, the signs say otherwise. Neither of them has been rocking wedding rings, and both wiped each other clean from Instagram. That's not exactly giving happily ever after. And you know what happened next. People started speculating that Toni only locked Birdman down for the bag.
Welcome, Toni Braxton!
She was so freaking mean to me. I was in shock. Do you take responsibility for the situation that you're in right now?
100%.
100%?
100%.
I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me. I read that you were upset about stories that your overspending caused this. She says to me, I hear you have Gucci flatware. I'm Oprah Winfrey and I don't have Gucci flatware. First of all, I didn't know Gucci made silverware. You ain't got Gucci flatware because you didn't want to buy it. It's not because you couldn't afford it. What do you mean? And immediately, she made me feel this big, this big. That moment completely changed my career. It made people look down on me.
Considering her messy financial situation over the past few years, folks weren't shocked. Rumors of her bankruptcy, debts, and big money losses had people convinced she only walked down the aisle for security, which makes this even wilder because Toni isn't just anybody. She's one of the most legendary R&B queens of all time. From starting out with her sisters in the Braxtons back in the late 80s to dropping her solo debut in 1993, she made history. Her self-titled album went straight to #1 on the Billboard 200 and sold over 10 million copies worldwide. Classics like Breathe Again and Another Sad Love Song had fans hooked, with big-name producers like Babyface and L.A. Reid crafting her sound. And then came the follow-up, Secrets, featuring the timeless Unbreak My Heart, one of the best-selling singles in music history. Toni had it all: fame, success, and a voice that could break your soul. So why did her love life look so messy? Toni Braxton may be a Grammy-winning legend with 9 studio albums under her belt, the latest dropping in 2020, but behind the glitz and hits, her money story has been straight-up shocking. Despite generating over $170 million in record sales for her label, Toni herself ended up filing for bankruptcy more than once. Fans couldn't believe that an artist who sold out arenas and dominated charts was struggling like that. The ugly truth? While she was raking in millions for Arista and LaFace, she was reportedly making less than 35 cents per album. Can you imagine? Toni even sued her label, but just 8 weeks after filing that lawsuit in 1998, she was forced to declare bankruptcy. Later, she revealed the root of it all. Her contract was so bad she pulled in under $2,000 in royalties and had to pay back the label for clothes, travel, studio time, and even music videos. Basically, she was paying to be famous. And if that wasn't messy enough, things got darker when she was accused of fraudulently transferring $53,490 to her then-husband Carrie Lewis to keep it out of the hands of creditors. The scandal hit hard, and at the same time, she sat down for that infamous Oprah interview. Toni thought the sit-down would get fans to sympathize with her situation, but instead, it turned humiliating fast. According to her, Oprah came off cold, condescending, and completely unsympathetic, making Toni feel like she was being scolded instead of understood. That interview stuck with her for years. And the financial drama didn't stop there. By 2019, the IRS came knocking again, hitting her with a lien and reminding everyone that no matter how successful she was on stage, her money woes were still haunting her behind the scenes. Toni's money struggles didn't just stop with the IRS, they spilled straight into her love life too, making things even messier. See, after her split from Carrie Lewis, the father of her 2 sons, people thought she'd bounce back strong. But instead, her personal life got tied up with headlines about lawsuits, foreclosures, and shady financial rumors. At one point, reports claimed she was even forced to auction off her designer clothes and luxury items just to cover debts. Imagine being one of the most successful R&B divas alive and having to put your gowns up for sale. That shook fans to the core. And then came Birdman. To some, he looked like a fresh start, a man with serious money who could bring stability. But others whispered Toni was just trying to secure the bag after years of financial stress. Remember, Birdman's net worth was hitting 9 figures while Toni was still untangling bankruptcies and tax drama.
Like a lot of people don't understand, my second bankruptcy was because I was sick. I have lupus, and my show in Vegas got canceled.
And the insurance wouldn't cover
The insurance didn't cover it, so I had to pay myself. And so
That's a lot. That was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money to put up a show. People don't understand this. If you see a concert, you see the lights, you see the band on stage, the artist pays for all that. The hotel rooms, the salary, so then you have nothing left.
The math was mathing for a lot of people, and that's why rumors of her marrying for money picked up steam so fast. But it wasn't just outsiders stirring the pot. Sources close to the Braxton family hinted that Tamar herself had been fueling those whispers, claiming Toni was only with Birdman for financial security. And considering the sisters' rocky relationship, folks didn't think Tamar was above throwing a little shade to make Toni look bad. To add more heat, fans noticed the drastic differences between Toni's public image and her private battles. On stage, she was the sultry superstar with timeless hits and expensive gowns. But off stage, court documents painted a different story, one of liens, bankruptcies, and alleged desperate moves to stay afloat. That contrast made her love life with Birdman look even more suspicious to the public eye. So when news broke that Toni and Birdman secretly tied the knot, only to separate in 2 days, the streets went wild. Suddenly, it wasn't just about heartbreak, it was about money, power, and whether Toni Braxton's iconic career was being overshadowed by financial scandals and messy family drama. If you thought Toni and Birdman's roller coaster was wild, the real fireworks came when the Braxton sisters got dragged into the mess, especially Tamar. Word is, Tamar didn't just sit back quietly while the rumors flew. She allegedly fanned the flames herself, whispering that Toni only tied herself to Birdman for his money. And once that talk hit the streets, the family tension went from bad to explosive. Tamar had already been feeling iced out. Remember how she wasn't fully included in Tawanda's wedding plans? That alone had her lashing out online, calling her family toxic, and claiming she regretted ever returning to Braxton family values. So when Birdman's name got mixed into Toni's business, Tamar reportedly took it as the perfect opening to expose her sister's so-called truth. The timing couldn't have been messier, and fans noticed. Some people sided with Tamar, saying she was just keeping it real about Toni's money problems. Others clapped back, accusing Tamar of being jealous and always trying to drag her sisters down instead of celebrating their wins. Either way, social media turned the whole situation into a circus, with people posting throwback clips of the Braxtons fighting on camera and pointing out how their family drama has always been just one spark away from blowing up.
Mommy and Daddy's divorced, and a divorced mom pretty much got nothing. I'm not going to leave my mom by herself. So I'm going to make sure my mother's taken care of. None of my siblings have helped me take care of my mother to make sure she was okay, except for Tamar. No one said,
this is before Vincent.
Before Vince, Mommy's car insurance is due. Let's help Toni with Mommy car insurance. Only Tamar.
What made it even spicier is how Toni herself handled it, quietly. Instead of clapping back at Tamar directly, she let the silence speak, deleting posts and dodging questions. But that only made fans think Tamar's whispers had some truth to them. Add in the fact that Toni and Birdman were barely seen together and weren't wearing rings, and suddenly the gossip shifted from, "Are they in love?" to, "Was this all about money?" Now the Braxton family feud isn't just about sisterly shade, it's tied to Toni's finances, Birdman's fortune, and whether Tamar went too far throwing her own flesh and blood under the bus. Once the Birdman marriage drama and the Braxton family feud hit the blogs, the internet turned it into a whole spectacle. Memes were flying left and right. Fans were clowning Toni for marrying Birdman only to separate in 48 hours, joking it was the shortest money move in R&B history. Others dragged Tamar, saying she couldn't keep her mouth shut even when it came to her own sister's business. It wasn't just family drama anymore, it was primetime entertainment for the streets. Some fans went deep with theories too. A popular one was that Toni only pulled the marriage stunt to secure financial leverage, while Birdman allegedly got cold feet once he realized how messy her money situation was. Another theory? That the whole thing was staged to boost the next season of Braxton family values, since nothing sells like scandal. People even dug up clips of Toni saying she was afraid of being broke again, connecting the dots to why she might have rushed into Birdman's arms in the first place. Meanwhile, Tamar became a lightning rod for attention. Half the internet applauded her for exposing Toni's supposed motives, while the other half slammed her for being messy and jealous. Folks brought up Tamar's past meltdowns, her on-again, off-again social media exits, and her history of calling her family toxic.
Sister Tracy is the one who said to me, Toni, you know, when you make it, you can help us come on. So I always try to abide that. But the responsibility of it is so heavy for me. I feel I can never live my life, and I never used to say it. I never used to say anything to anybody, but since we've been doing this show, I've been saying.
Suddenly, it wasn't just Toni's marriage under the microscope, it was the entire Braxton clan being labeled as dysfunctional and drama-driven. What really kept fans talking, though, was the silence. Toni wasn't wearing a ring, Birdman was MIA, and Tamar had gone ghost again after stirring the pot. That silence left a huge vacuum, and in the world of gossip, that only makes the rumors louder. Some blogs even claimed insiders told them Toni and Birdman are still sneaking around quietly, while others insisted the marriage was nothing more than a paper contract gone wrong. Either way, the public wasn't letting this story die down, and the Braxton sisters had once again become the internet's favorite drama series. By December 4th, the receipts were piling up. Toni was slapped with a lien showing she owed $340,252.90 in back taxes for 2017. Just days later, the state of California came swinging too, hitting her with another lien for $116,154.64. That's nearly $500,000 in tax debt hanging over her head. And the timing couldn't have been worse because while drowning in bills, Toni was also carrying her entire family on her shoulders. She's admitted before that she was the one footing the bill while her sisters barely helped, and that kind of pressure will break anybody down. So honestly, it didn't seem too far-fetched when people started whispering that maybe Toni married Birdman for financial security. The logic was there. The debts, the liens, the family weight, it all lined up. But here's the messy twist. Rumors say Tamar was the one reinforcing that narrative, throwing shade at her own sister. And if that's true, you gotta wonder, is their relationship really that damaged, or was Tamar just adding fuel to the fire for attention? Word on the street is Birdman himself wasn't here for any of it. Insiders claim he checked Tamar behind the scenes, making it clear that his business with Toni wasn't up for debate. Still, fans can't ignore how perfect the timing is. With a new season of Braxton Family Values right around the corner, it's almost like this chaos was scripted to keep the spotlight burning. So before you dip, make sure you smash that like button if you're riding with us, tap subscribe if you're a real one, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single messy update. Trust me, you're gonna want to be here for the next video.